sorry I'm a tad bit late. I got a bit distracted, but I made it. Ugh. Okay, Jill just went by, so I guess I did good timing. Ugh. I'm I'm mostly done with my sickness, but I'm still kind of in the finishing stages, so my voice might sound a bit off. Um, so if you notice that, that's why I might sound a little off. But hello, I have returned. I have lived. I didn't totally die. I also might have to still mute to cough. I still feel like death in the morning. Yeah, I wake up in the morning and then I feel like for me right now it's like in the morning and at night is when I feel really bad. Like I just end up hacking away. It's very frustrating. But I mostly experience it like when I'm getting up in the morning and when I'm going to bed right now. You say you're still down with the sickness? Unfortunately, to a degree, yes. I wish I wasn't. It's really annoying at this point. I have basically been sick since Christmas, so well, like a bit before Christmas. I haven't had a sickness take this long in a hot minute. It's not the worst sickness I've ever felt in my life by any means, but it's just been going on for so long. That's what makes it really bad. Is it just won't leave. Like, I've dealt with worse per se, but never this long. Usually it kind of gets over it already. Merry Christmas, here's your gift, a disease. It on the little paw prints. It would not be the first time I've been sick on Christmas. It has happened to me on multiple occasions, so I wasn't totally surprised. It just kind of sucked that it was like my first Christmas with my boyfriend, and I I pretty much got him sick. Like he primarily got sick because of me, truthfully. So I felt a bit bad about that. Because I was like, oh, I got you sick on Christmas. But it's also kind of his fault, so. Like, I told him that he should keep his distance because I'm sick, and he just actively refused to. So I can't necessarily say it's 100% my fault, but I did warn him. He just actively refused. But I don't know. I figured just do like a chill play a game in the background while I talk kind of stream. Um I I wanted to do like a New Year's stream. My New Year's stream ended up kind of just being my boyfriend coming on, and that's just because he had a day off of work, so that ended up being just the best time at the moment for us to do it. So I was like, screw it, we're gonna have you come on stream instead. Because otherwise I would have to kind of figure out a time that works best for him and like best for y'all. So I didn't end up doing like a New Year's stream. That kind of became my New Year's stream, which I'm fine with. Like, I love him, so I was just happy to get to do something with him. Even if I truthfully don't remember a lot of it except for Gringo hitting on him relentlessly, because I was a little out of it. I was a little out of it, but it was still fun. I remember that part. I remember that part pretty clearly, but I don't remember a lot of what else happened. I remember we talked about anime a lot because of slime, but basically, like, kind of, I might at some point pause the game to talk if I feel like my brain isn't multitasking, but for now I'm gonna try so I'm not just sitting here on the screen yapping, so you guys actually have something to like watch. Basically, like, my internet just shit the bed. I'm back now. It's okay, it'd be like that. It'd be like that, Gringo. I hope we didn't scare him. No, he thought it was really fun. He likes you guys. He, like, lurks around at times, so he hears me reading out your chat messages. For him, he said it was nice to actually get to see, like, usernames, because my boyfriend doesn't ever get to chat, because my boyfriend will listen to me while he's at work. So my boyfriend never is, like, in chat. He said it was nice to actually get to, like, see people's usernames and kind of put people's comments to who they are. I hope he likes me. Nah, you made him laugh a lot, so he liked you guys. He was excited to do it. He was honestly more nervous that you guys wouldn't like him. And I told him, I was like, well, if they don't like you, we're gonna have a problem. So don't worry about that, honey. Yeah, he was more nervous that like you guys wouldn't like him for some reason, even though he's literally perfect. Okay. I love having to mute to dad cough. Trying to think of like what was it that I wanted to talk about? I'm such a professional streamer. Oh, I guess I sort of came up with like so basically, I haven't been streaming for a bit because I was getting, absolutely ruined by sickness. But I was also getting eviscerated by depression because, your gal got mental illness. And it just be like that. It's fine. It's just how it be. So I was also kind of struggling with that at the same time, which was not a very good combo, if I'm gonna be honest. You know, super bad sickness while depressed, really not the greatest time. Who could have thought? Definitely was a bit rough. It definitely did kind of influence some of my, like, do I think I'm ready to get back to streaming mindset? But it's not like, I'm trying to think of how to phrase it. It's not like I've thought about, like, quitting or anything. It's just when I get really depressed, it's really hard for me to have motivation to do stuff. So for me, it's more so of an issue of just like, I'm really lacking motivation right now. I have to like figure out how to get that back because I don't have any right now to do a bunch of stuff. that was kind of like the struggle of what I was dealing with for a good bit. I think I get that when I'm sick and depressed, it's really hard to imagine things being fun or good ever again. Yeah, I was kind of just like doom posting for my own life, truthfully. Which is not a good mindset to be in. It also just like didn't help that it was a lot of my, I guess I could say my usual problems of like, I did a couple job interviews. Literally, okay, like, I did a job interview Friday when I was still sick as hell. I was still sick as fuck. And the people showed up 30 minutes late to the job interview. It was on Zoom, so I guess it wasn't as bad. But they showed up 30 minutes late, and I still stayed there, and I waited the entire time for them. And they made a whole big stink of like, we're not the kind of company that's good. And this was actually, I think this was last Friday, not this Friday. It was last Friday. They were like, "Oh, we're not the kind of company to make you wait to figure out if you've got a job or not." Guess who hasn't heard back from them? Guess who hasn't heard a single word back? Me. So like that happened again, which, considering the fact that I even went to an interview while like really sick and waited an extra 30 minutes because they were late and all this stuff, and still getting the, "Oh, we're gonna reach out to you in a couple days. Oh, we're gonna reach out to you in a week," and then just silence. Yeah, that really kind of like set me over the edge. That kind of set me the fuck off, I'm not gonna lie. I was very upset. Like, I was extremely upset. It felt very like, what do I do at this point? I've gone to 2 job interviews in the last like 2 or 3 weeks, and I haven't heard back from either of them. And I don't know, I feel in a way kind of at like my wit's end with that stuff. And I try really hard not to let it bother me, because I'm like, I shouldn't let it bother me. It's out of my control, truthfully. But it's really hard not to. It's really hard not to, because you just reach a point where you just get frustrated. Like, frustrated beyond belief, truthfully. And it becomes like, how much longer am I gonna have to go through this process? You know? Like, I was telling my boyfriend that I'm at a point where I'm not even excited for a job interview anymore. Because every single job interview I've done, I haven't gotten like a rejection or acceptance or anything. They just stop contacting me. Sure, I'll wash this stupid bike. Tough in this economy, hang in there. Yeah. It's it's just really annoying, truthfully. Like, it's just super incredibly annoying. And there's only so many times at a moment that I like go through it before I feel like I just kind of crack and lose it, and I have to like kind of like skizz out to myself because I'm like fucking losing it. That's absolutely wild. Not even a rejection email. Nothing. Not a rejection email, not a call, not a text. I've literally had interviews with places that are like, "Oh, we'll schedule an interview tomorrow. Text text our number and we will." And I do, and they just completely ghost me. Like it is getting like truthfully ridiculous in my opinion. Like at this point, sometimes like I'm a little like in a weird way kind of excited to get a rejection email because at least it's a fucking, you know, confirmation instead of me being stuck in this limbo of wondering like am I going to get this position, you know? Because it doesn't help that every place also takes their time to be like, "Oh, you're so perfect for this position. Oh my God, we've been looking for someone like you. I think you'll do wonderful." Blah blah blah. You know, like they're also like just telling you like, "Oh, you're exactly what we've been looking for. Like we think you'll be a perfect fit at our company." Like don't tell me that. If you're not planning on hiring me, don't tell me that shit, you know? It's really frustrating. I had a place go as far as to like sending me their benefits package to show me what their benefits and everything are. And that's the place that I haven't heard back from at all. Like, even though it's been over a week at this point. I haven't heard back anything from them. And it's just kind of like, Jesus, you know? How much of this do I have to deal with, you know? Like, why are you going so far as to sending me your benefits package if you aren't actually planning on hiring me so I don't need to actually know your benefits? You know what I mean? Like, I don't really get that. Doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. But I guess it's just kind of how things go. So, you know, I think it's just the way things are nowadays. So, you know, AI and all this stuff is just kind of gonna screw us over. Because, like, as someone actively looking for a job, I've encountered job postings that are like, when you dig through the description, they say, "Oh, the job posting is gonna close in November of last year." If you're not accepting people, it's been months, take down the job listing, you know? Why do you have a job posting that's 2 months old open if you're not gonna accept anybody from it? It's stuff like that that like gets me. Um, there's a lot of job postings that I see where I can very clearly tell that it was written by AI because the formatting is like really jank. Like jank in the sense that I can tell someone copy and pasted it from something else and it had like syntax that just didn't carry over to the new website, so it has like error marks, you know? Like stuff like that, and it's just written really clumsily. I've seen a lot of those. That's really weird. Just invest your life savings in oil and oil refinement companies. I've got an inside tip that's about to explode in profit. Yeah, exactly. You know, you're right. There is a certain event going on that definitely will help. Um, I will say, do you want to know something really dystopian? I hear you consider invading Venezuela. I hear you can make oodles of money. Exactly. Um, I actually did a job interview with a fucking AI system the other week. That was that was interesting. That was weird. That made me feel very weird. I had an interview with an AI chatbot, and it was as uncomfortable as you might imagine. Um, Definitely gives you a lot of confidence in the current job market. It was so weird, like answering the questions and then having it be like, wow, that's an amazing story. Now, answer this question. You know, it was so uncomfortable. It was so weird. Why is it so dirty? There we go. Honestly, I will admit, I was talking to my boyfriend about this. I feel really bad for like I mean, it sucks for everybody right now, like the job market. And, you know, as like a like I majored in political science, you know, it's a liberal arts, it's a humanities. I kind of knew the job market for me wouldn't be as good as other people inherently because, you know, our government believes that those kind of jobs don't matter, you know? That was already a pill that I swallowed, but you know, I was like, okay, I still have plenty of skills to get like a little girly pop office job, you know, which apparently is like impossible to get right now. But what makes me I feel really bad for is all of the people they took my job. All of the people coming out of college for tech right now. Like I worry for them because it's not looking good, I'll tell you that. Um because sometimes I get a little when I'm looking for jobs, I'll look at jobs that I know I would not be able to do just because I'm curious. I look at the requirements for some of these tech jobs and I'm like, "Oh, yeah, you're fucked if you're like a college student." Because they're like you need to know 20 different language like programming languages. You need to have 5 different certifications, 8 years of experience, like I feel really bad for them because I feel like they're like my entire generation was kind of I don't want to say forced into, but my entire generation was basically told if you don't go into tech, you're stupid and like everybody needs to go into tech. And now I'm like, are there going to be enough tech jobs for all of the people now coming out of college from tech? Because they all have like insane requirements like that. And then also they're doing their best to like basically make them obsolete with AI as quick as possible. You know? Like Aki does like tech stuff at college and so does Alphonse. And like one of the things Aki tells me is that like how common like AI is for like programmers, like some of them sometimes they're even encouraged to check their programming with AI and stuff. And I can't help but think like that's kind of fucked up for like professors to do because they're basically like training the AI off of their students. So by the time their students graduate, well the AI's already been trained to do all of this because it got it from you, you know? Like, I kind of worry about that. Like, how many people don't realize that they're basically being used in college as like free AI trainers? And by the time it takes them to get out of college, like the AI is already going to have been implemented in businesses, you know? And it doesn't have to be paid. The rise of vibe coding has been insane to watch. Half the coding courses I see online are just training people to use AI to code. Yeah, it's. I really worry about that. Like, how many people are gonna get fucked over from that? Because I don't think a lot of people realize that they're training their replacement, you know? I don't think a lot of people understand that. And like, it feels really fucked up to say it like that, like, oh, your replacement. But like, that is what it is, you know? Effectively. Like, these tech bros want the most amount of profit they can get, you know? They're it doesn't matter, like they'll keep just enough guys to make sure that the AI doesn't completely biff, and outside of that they'll be like, I don't need anybody else. Having a years of experience requirement is bullshit, yeah, especially for entry level jobs, especially when like it used to be that like college counted towards your experience, but now like they don't count college anymore. Like, okay, like I'm trying, for example, I've applied to a couple law firms to be like assistant, you know? It's to be a fucking assistant, you know? Like nothing crazy. And they're like, "Oh, you don't have experience in a law firm." And I'm like, "Bitch, I'm a political science major. I spent 2 years of my life reading law files and cases, and like half of the people that go to law school have my degree." Like, what do you mean I don't have experience? Like, just because I haven't sat in a law office doesn't mean I don't have experience reading, like, law files and shit, you know? Like, it, it's really frustrating because even when I was, like, a bit younger, before everything totally crashed, you know, um, they used to at least count what you did in college towards your experience. But now it's just like you're supposed to have a college degree and 5 years of experience or 3 years of experience on top of that degree. Like they're no longer like exclusive. And it's like, well, that's just not possible. Like that's just not possible unless you're lucky and like to put it truthfully, your daddy knows somebody. Like being completely real. Like unless you know somebody, which and that's the thing too, is like they always say, well, you should have networked in college. Do you know how difficult that is? Like I have professors that I was close with and stuff. But okay, do you think they know how to get me a super high paying job either? Bitch, if they did, they would get it for themselves, you know? Like if they knew how to do that, why would they be at the school, you know? I actually originally before because originally I was going to go for English and possibly be a teacher um overseas. I was going to do that shtick. I also considered going to college for marketing. I don't know. Sometimes I'm kind of like maybe I should have. You know, fuck my passions, am I right? Like maybe I should have just picked something for money, you know? How dare I follow not only my passion, but something that I like believe in, you know? That was foolish of me, I guess. Hi, Ultra. If you're considering teaching in Japan, maybe you dodged a bullet with their new Margaret Thatcher clone. Yeah, I was. I actually, because I did take Japanese for a bit, and then COVID happened and kind of fucked that. Because I was really bad at Spanish, so I took Japanese instead. And then I eventually took sign language for the rest of my language. Because I needed a language for my archetype for my major, so I had to take one. I also considered um learning at one point Mandarin, which honestly is probably still a pretty good idea. Probably still a pretty good idea. How's it going? It's going, Ultra. It's going. You know, we're just kind of bitching about the American job economy and just, I don't know, it's just gonna kind of be like, this is the shit I've been holding in for a week. Prepare to hear my rant. Prepare for the rant. While I try to power wash this truck. Ugh. Yeah, I thought about going to college for marketing at one point. I don't know, maybe I should have done that. Would it have been a wiser choice? Yeah, but unfortunately, I was so passion-pilled and was like, nah, I'm fine not making as much money as long as I can do something I'm fulfilled with. Man, I can't make any money now. Dog, my president says that my major should be obsolete. I'm fucked. Like, I'm so screwed. It was so uncomfortable finishing, like, graduating college and then seeing the president being like, we need to make liberal arts obsolete. And I'm just sitting there like, oh, great. Oh, sick. Love that, you know? That's really great for the confidence. Thank you, God King. What did these firefighters do? Yeah, I don't know. It's frustrating, but you know, I'll we'll all hopefully make it out, you know? Like the country's in a recession. They don't want to admit it, but like it is, you know? I think it's just gonna kind of suck ass for most people for now. And it's just kind of how it is, you know? It's just a really unfortunate time to graduate. That's our emperor, I mean president, exactly. Yeah, no, it was really funny, like, laying in bed, just chilling on my phone, and then I look over to my boyfriend, and I'm like, hey babe, we just kidnapped a foreign head of state, and he was like, we what? I was like, yeah, yeah, you know, just Donnie things. You know, we just, like, kidnapped a foreign head of state, and we're gonna make it seem like we're doing it for a righteous reason. Like, we're doing it as if we actually give a shit about the Venezuelan population. Spoiler alert, Americans don't. We're just doing it for that sweet, sweet oil, baby. Like, we're just doing it about that sweet, sweet oil. We're just gonna pretend like we're doing it for a righteous reason when we're very much not. The Greenland situation is actually making me scared a little. They're more and more serious about it every day. Is he seriously, like, a dead ass still talking about taking Greenland? I thought we were over that. I thought we got past the Greenland thing. Good, clean oil. Yeah. Remember, kids, if America says they're doing something for righteous reasons, know that they are very much lying, and they are not. The American government is not going into a foreign state for righteous reasons. They are going there because there is something that they want. It's not a meme. Greenland is a vital logistics hub in two scenarios of World War III, and when the polar cap melts, it will be a shipping hub, not to mention the rare earth metals in Greenland. Don't say Canada. I think he's moved past Canada because he just hates the new Canadian Prime Minister, like, way more than he hated Trudeau. And so I think he's kind of, like, backed off a bit because he just doesn't want to deal with him. Russia and the US are both genuinely want Greenland, which sucks because what sucks is basically was ours when we respected NATO. I was gonna say, isn't Greenland technically owned by Denmark? If I remember correctly. I believe Denmark. Well, I don't think Denmark. I don't know if they technically own them, but they're like basically their main funders and like mainland access, if I remember correctly. I don't know a ton about, you know, foreign affairs, so I'm going off of things I saw months ago. Yeah, so military was already well within our control. It's part of the kingdom of Denmark, I believe. Yeah. Because that's what I remember. I remember people did an interview with people in Greenland being like, would you rather be a part of America or Denmark? And they were all like, Denmark, what the fuck? Like, I mean, they were obviously more like, you know, I'd rather our own sovereignty be respected, but like, I'm gonna pick Denmark if I gotta pick. Yeah, it's just honestly crazy. Like, truthfully, what's going on. Because, like, okay, here's the thing. And I'll kind of get into this and after we have this general discussion about how I want to go about news stuff from now on. Kind of like, since I'm not the most knowledgeable about, like, my area of expertise is domestic issues and electoralism. So like foreign affairs and like military is not my area of expertise. So I don't tend to talk about it as like quickly as other people who talk about politics like online might, because I just genuinely don't know enough. And because I was really sick, I haven't been super up on it. But like from what I know, like the kind of, correct me if I'm wrong, Pumpkin, because I know you're way more onto this like area than I am. Um, what's it called? Hold on, my brain. Like Maduro is not a good leader from what I've heard Venezuelans say. And so they're kind of like hiding under the guise of we're doing this to like liberate the Venezuelan population. When in reality, they're very much doing it because they want more like access to oil because they're like holding out on the oil basically. And they're like the like fake response that they're giving is that they're doing it for like liberation purposes and such, but they're not actually like doing anything that's going to benefit the Venezuelan population. It's just going to benefit the oil companies in America. If I might be wrong, I might be totally wrong on that, but that's just like what I've been seeing. And I don't know if that's necessarily like accurate or not. I mean, I know that doing it for oil is 100% accurate, but I don't know enough about Venezuelan politics to like know if they got like know the problems they have with their leader. Venezuelans are jazzed about Maduro being gone, but they don't believe life will get better. It seems Maduro's people are still in power, and the collectivos, the gangs are still active and under control of Maduro's government. So nothing changed on the ground yet. Okay. That's what I thought, that like it's kind of a repeat of what we've done a couple times in the Middle East and other Latin American countries where it's like we know this is like an unpopular leader, so we come in and we're like, oh, we're doing this because we're righteous and we're freeing you from this horrible person. And then in reality, it's because we want some kind of material that they have, and we don't actually care who's in charge as long as they agree to give us the material. Like, I'm sure if Maduro gave us the oil and all that shit, like, willingly, I guarantee this would not be happening. Maduro's opposition says they haven't spoken to Trump or the administration since October, so I don't think Trump has a game plan other than take the oil. I don't think he really needs one, truthfully. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I don't think he really needs another game plan. He's just gonna take what he wants, and he doesn't care what happens to the people left over, like, truthfully. Like, that's one thing that, at least with, like, Trump, that he does, is I feel like he kind of best represents the selfishness and self-centeredness that America has always, like, had. Because he doesn't care. He doesn't care about, you know, the population and how they can be affected and all this stuff. Like, he just wants what he wants, and once he gets it, he's like, all right, thank you, and then he's just gonna fuck off. Like, I really doubt he cares much more than just getting whatever it is his advisors told him he should get. Because also, truthfully, I don't think he himself really cares. I think it's more so he's doing whatever Stephen Miller told him he should do, and he's like, okay, you know? Like, I think it's more of that kind of situation. The only thing that I do genuinely believe, though, is that I do genuinely believe that he, like, and this is me talking about, like, him as a person, I do believe that he wants to avoid a war because a big thing that he has done throughout his tenure as president is like champion himself as like a quote unquote peaceful dove, you know? And like, oh, I'm gonna take credit for defeating certain, you know, oppositions and all this kind of stuff. I feel like he doesn't want the flack of an actual war on his tenure. So I could also see him doing just enough to get what he wants and then backing the fuck off, you know? which is kind of like what he's been historically doing. It's like just enough to get what he wants, and then he just fucks off. And it's like, okay, you guys can pick up the pieces of what I've done in your country. Even if a conspiracy theory, even heard a conspiracy theory in Venezuelan discussions that Maduro set up his own capture since US forces didn't even take one casualty, and Maduro seems really chill about the whole thing. Yeah, I know he like um said like he's pleading like not guilty because isn't he in New York right now? Um and they're gonna like put him on trial, I guess, which is interesting to me that they're going that route. Man, I really don't want to get the ladder. Not yet. There we go. Yeah, I don't know. I did see that like some conservatives were being really stupid because like Zoran was talking about how he was briefed about Maduro arriving, and they were like, "Why is the mayor do?" And I'm like, "Bitch, because it's his city." What do you mean? Like, it's his city. Of course they're gonna brief him on the fact that a foreign leader is being taken there, you know? Like, duh, are you stupid? He kind of has to be briefed about what's going on. I'd say it's crazy, but I don't have anything to compare it to. It's such an insane year. It is kind of crazy that there's pictures of a foreign like head of state in like a Nike like tech suit in American custody. Like that's kind of crazy. You know, like what are we doing? This is a deeply unserious nation. I don't know. My kind of view on it is like it's really unfortunate because I want the best for the Venezuelan population because I want the best for every population on the planet. I know in my heart this is not done out of the goodwill for them, you know? And I feel for them because I just worry about this causing like even more destabilization and like infighting from their government of like who's gonna take over. And I don't know, I don't think that like any country should just like I don't think America should just be able to casually get away with capturing a foreign head of state. Like that's crazy. You know, that's insane to just be able to do. Hey Pumpkin, are we the baddies? Yeah, Colombia mobilized its entire army to be on the border of Venezuela just in case. Yeah, listen, here's the thing. I get every Latin American country being scared shitless at all times of us because we are like truly demons to them. Like the fear that Latin American countries have of America coming in and just like cooing the fuck out of their country and shit is 100% valid. I completely get it. So, I don't know. It makes sense to me that a bunch of countries are like, uh-oh, this doesn't look like it could be good for us, you know? It's just the thing that's unfortunate to me is I just really hate that they're going to frame this as like, again, liberation, we're doing this for the good of the Venezuelans. They don't care. Literally, they actively wish to deport people to Venezuela. Like, they do not care, you know? And I hate that that's the framing that's like kind of sticking in a lot of circles because he's not doing this for good reasons. Like he could care less about those people and what they're going through. Hi, hello. The Latin community loves me because I'm dating one of them. Man, it doesn't feel like land of the free when you start doing this stuff, you know? Yeah, it's... I don't know. It's crazy to me. It's just crazy to me because I'm like, it, it's these kind of scenarios just make me think, like, would another country get away with it, you know? If, like, another country pulled this, would they be able to get away with it to the same degree? Like, if China just kidnapped a foreign head of state from a country that they got beef with, I feel like that would be, like, insane freak out, you know? They would be like, World War III is coming, you know? I think my country was allied with America. Oh my god, I'm dying. It's, I don't know, it's frustrating. It's really frustrating. I just don't, I know I keep repeating it, but I just hate, and I hate when any country does this, when they're doing something for selfish purposes and they do it under the guise of helping the people. That's my number one, like, thing that drives me insane because, like, yeah, the guy that refuses to, like, give you healthcare and, like, take care of his own population, yeah, he's definitely doing this for the good of a foreign population. Like, no, he doesn't care, you know? He doesn't care. Like, this is not out of, like, the good of his heart, you know? This is pocket lining right now. And I do worry about how it could affect, you know, the people in Venezuela. Like, I really hope the best for them. I don't really know what's gonna come from this. My land is in hell right now. I'm sorry about that. It's it's very unfortunate. China gets Asia, Russia gets Europe, we get the Western Hemisphere. Yeah, that's how they act, pretty much. Going back to the shitty days of Henry Kissinger's spheres of influence, where the major powers get to do whatever they want. Oh my god, yeah. You're pretty right about that, about just, like, free reign, essentially, coming back. I know it's, like, you know, the most common, like, one of the most common sayings of all time is, like, you know, history repeats, but goddamn, it really does sometimes take you aback how much that shit do be repeating, you know? Oh, Stacy, I love her too. She's great. I hope her sleep is well. Like, sometimes it's just kind of like, you know, I know it's repeating, but goddamn, is it repeating? Like, we're back to welcome back. Like, I saw someone make a tweet that was like, too young to participate in the war on oil, just old enough to participate on the war for oil, you know? Like, we're back at it, you know? Like, how did they get so much dirt up here? It does, it's scary. You think people would just look at that and reflect on a positive way, but no. It's honestly, like, I know this is gonna be probably one of the most immature things I'm about to say, but, like, sometimes it really just like rattles my brain how like evil the world is, you know? Like, I know that's such a deeply, like, childish sentiment to have, but it really does sometimes just, like, I just can't comprehend so much of what goes on. Like, I mean, yes, I can sit down and study and figure out what are the motivations behind certain conflicts and destabilizations and all this stuff, but as like a person, I just can't understand what leads people to be this way, you know? I remember in 2003 invasion of Iraq how we tried to pretend we had a good reason. We didn't even bother hiding our motives this time. We got mask off for real. Yeah, I just can't understand like the cruelty and how there's just like the concept of being a person and valuing profit over like human beings is genuinely like not something I can comprehend. It just doesn't make sense to me. And it worries me when knowing that not only like so much of our government is like that, because our government affects governments around the world, you know? And I feel horrible for the people that get affected by us by proxy. But I don't know, it just kind of blows my mind sometimes because I'm like, I feel like being a quote unquote like good person, you know, as like vague of a statement as that is so much easier than being a bad person, yet apparently not. Because of how many fucking horrific people there are. Tech billionaires who are funding Trump literally believe 90% of the population dying will be a good thing. Yeah, like, God, this is the, okay, thank God, I was like, the ladder is the worst. Candles? Oh, those. Okay, are these handles? Yes, so one of those needs to be clean, and then we're done with this. Where's this? What are you talking about? Venezuela is hiding WD, just going over to get them. Yeah. Robots and automation and AI will be able to provide at least 10%, and they won't have to deal with overpopulation competition. Yeah, it's scary. It really is. Like, oh, this one. I did it. Yeah, no, it is very, I don't know. I watch like Peter Thiel literally believes the end times are nigh. Peter Thiel's gonna fucking make sure that the end times are nigh. Are you kidding me? Like, Peter Thiel's literal blood boy is our vice president. Like, you know, my eyes hurt. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Like, Peter Thiel literally wasn't he I believe Peter Thiel is the main funder of JD Vance's campaign. I'm hoping our new AI overlords are pity us and rule us with sympathy. It's not about you. I've been cleaning this stupid park for 2 hours straight. Ah, unfortunate. I hate when that happens. I hate when you've been doing something for so long that it just starts hurting your eyes. That's one of the worst feelings. It drives me crazy. It makes me feel like I'm going insane when that happens. Do you see the Grok thinks JD Vance and Erica Kirk are the same person? Like Eric, like they think that it's like femme JD Vance. That's kind of crazy. I've been seeing too much of Grok being a sexual predator, quite frankly, than I have not seen that. I have seen the really scary stuff that people have been using Grok for on Twitter to like remove people's clothes and stuff, which is just terrifying to me. I deleted all my art off X and dipped because of it. It's scary. It's really, really scary. Like, I don't know, man. What do you do about that? Like, quite frankly. I think she's JD Vance in a blonde wig. That's crazy. Jesus Christ. We're so doomed. People legitimately ask that stupid AI bot for actual information. We are so doomed. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot about, like, people using Grok to, like, pull up a picture of a woman and be like, remove her clothes and then put a sticky white substance all over her, Grok, and it does it. Which is just, like, horrifying, you know? I saw someone use Grok to put child in a sexy bikini pose and I just crashed out. I think what really, like, blew the lid off of what was happening was, someone did it to, like, one of the kid actors from Stranger Things. And, like, Stranger Things fans, because, you know, the show just ended, so they're, like, all up on Twitter right now, talking to each other about the show. They came across that when they searched the character's name, and, like, the actual actress for the character is, like, a 14-year-old girl. And, like, people were doing that, and they were like, what the fuck? And so they started, like, posting about it. Yeah, the little sister of Mike, yeah, like, Holly, I think is her name. Um, and that's where I first saw it, because that's when I saw it go, like, viral, I guess, of, like, this is what's going on. And then I actually have Grok blocked on Twitter. Um, so because, like, I don't want to see this, I just don't want to see it, and, you know, hope maybe it can, like, make me not have to deal with it in my replies, potentially. Even though I know that's probably not how that works, but I unblocked it temporarily just out of curiosity, and I looked at its fucking, like, media tab, and it was all, like, random cosplay girls that it was, like, putting them in a bikini and putting white stuff all over them, and it was horrifying, and I immediately reblocked it and was like, yeah, okay, glad to know that's the state of what we're using artificial intelligence for. I mean, I knew eventually it would come down to porn, but, like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Gives me the old meme of, like, okay, Google, show me this man's balls, but it's actually like that now. Yeah. I saw people take black artist OCs and turning them white. Ugh. That's so weird. Well, the thing is also, it's like, listen, with, like, AI porn stuff, like, it was always gonna come down to porn because everything comes down to porn at the end of the day. That's just how things work. It's like, okay, if you want to sext with your AI chatbot, sure. Like, I don't, whatever. Like, but when it comes down to, like, generating images of, like, real people and, like, generating voice audio clips of real people saying and doing, like, sexual things, that's horrifying to me. Like, that's legitimately scary. because what is your defense against that? Like, there's nothing really you can do about it. It's been done without your consent and it's there on the internet. And so what? Now, especially God forbid if your username is your actual name, your job searches you up and they see fake AI generated porn of you? You know? Like, what do you do? How are you gonna explain that to, like, HR? Yeah, when they made, like, Rock, like, an anime girl, yeah. It's... See, the thing is, like, okay, I have never, like... I don't know, my stance on AI is, do I think an AI is inherently bad? No, I think there's a lot of good uses for it. I don't think AI art and, like... I don't think generative AI has any uses, like AI art, generating pictures of people. Like, I don't see any benefit whatsoever that that can bring to society compared to, like, oh, we're using AI to help with medical diagnosis or something, you know, like that's already been a thing for a long time. What gets me is, like, I never even liked the AI voice stuff. Like, I saw a local news story about 8th grader generating new images of girls' class, a girl BFS. There's already been a couple girls who have killed themselves, like teenagers, you know, because, like, other kids at their school generated images and were spreading it around. I find it disgusting to generate a sexual picture of people who don't consent to it, literally. Like, it's it's just disgusting, you know, it's horrific. I never even liked the AI voice stuff of, like, oh, we're generating, you know, audio of, like, Joe Biden playing Mario Kart. Is it, some of the memes funny? Yes. But I never liked it because I didn't like the implication of, okay, we're gonna have AI good enough that it can replicate your voice, you know? Especially, like, when it comes down to, like, politicians and people like that. Like, how are you gonna be able to differentiate what's real and what's not? Like, not gonna lie, I've already kind of hit a point where sometimes I see stuff and I think that, why can't I put this down? I've already kind of hit a point where, like, I'm getting duped sometimes by, like, AI images because it looks real, and especially if you're scrolling fast enough, you don't really notice until you do a double take and you're like, wait a second, that's not how physics work, you know? Like, physics don't work like that. Like, it's scary. I don't know. It makes me scared for the implications of, like, revenge porn and, like, generating porn of people that don't consent to it and things like that. It also makes me scared of, like, what are we gonna do if we have a video of a president saying something that he didn't actually say and it blasts on every single news program? What are we gonna do? You know, because, like, especially as someone who did study poli-sci and stuff, a lot of the, like, experts in poli-sci are really fucking old. I'm gonna tell you that. They're really fucking old. Like, I as a 24-year-old am sometimes getting duped by some of this shit because again, I scroll too fast, I don't recognize immediately, and I have to go back and be like, wait a second. I'm supposed to believe a 70-year-old man, potentially, is going to be able to determine if something is AI. How are they going to be able to determine quick enough that, like, oh, this isn't actually a real clip of the president? You know? Before that stuff gets blasted all over. And not even just the president, but just, like, anybody, you know? Like, any politician. That's why, like, I really didn't like when a lot of people were talking about the Epstein stuff and the first, like, pictures that came out, and people, because of the whole, like, oh, did he suck off Bill Clinton thing? And people were, like, AI generating images of him, like, under the table at Bill Clinton's house and stuff. Listen, I despise that piece of shit more than anything. Don't do that. Don't do that. Like, don't set that precedent. Don't do that, because that is just normalizing it. And they will use that against your own guys eventually when they can. And it's just gonna further us into this era where, you know, you can't trust what you see. And I feel like as humans, inherently, like, one of the core things that we just instinctually believe is, like, if I see it, I believe it. And always on the internet, you had to be risky of that kind of stuff, but, like, especially now. You see so much stuff that, like, it can look so convincing, but you're like, nope, wasn't actually. That's a fake person. That person just doesn't exist. Like, I don't want to fearmonger or anything, but I don't know, man. I'm getting a little nervous about it. I'm a little nervous. I think this shit's getting a bit concerning. It is concerning for sure. Yeah. It's also one of those things where, unfortunately, like, laws are gonna take so long to catch up. And quite frankly, I don't think any laws will come from it until, like, a rich person gets got by it on, like, a really public level, and they're able to basically go in and, like, buy them to make the law immediately, you know? Because, like, if you're rich, you can't just do that, basically. You can just go to fucking a congressperson and be like, hey, get me this. And they'll be like, okay, you know. For the average person, though, we have to wait like peasants for protection. I keep hoping for the AI bubble to pop, but the way it's propping up a fake-ass economy right now, I'm not sure the government will let it pop. No. I was telling my boyfriend about that, how it's like, we pretty much are in a recession right now. It's just because these AI companies keep passing money back and forth to each other to keep each other afloat. It's keeping the stock market green, and technically, as long as the stock market is green, they're not going to announce a recession. Like, as long as there's green somewhere, they're like, it's not a recession, guys. Like, the thing is, I do think I agree, Gringo. I think it will pop. I think it is gonna pop, and it's gonna be devastating. Because right now, I feel like we're kind of doing the, like, putting all of our eggs in one basket technique. OpenAI and Nvidia discovered infinite money glitch. Yeah, I feel like when it pops, it's gonna be really, really bad. Because we kind of, like I said, we put all of our eggs into that basket. What do we do when the basket rips and all of our fucking eggs fall out and break? I truly think that Donnie is just hoping that the bubble lasts long enough to make it through his term. Like, that's what he's just trying to wait it out, is what I think is kind of going on. Because that's going to be their big thing for the next election, because the economy is always such a big issue. It's going to be, like, as much of a blame game as they can make it out to be, and they're hoping the bubble pops right after, and then it won't be his responsibility, quote unquote. Because that's usually what happens, is like, he fucks it up, and then gets out of there, and then goes, see, this person fucked it up, you know? It's typically how it goes. Especially with how much my leftist sister is making my head explode over Christmas, talking about how we need to have powerful AI or else China will beat us. She sounds more and more like a Republican every year. Oof. Yeah, especially with how much America keeps importing things instead of making new jobs. Like, he lied about farmers, lied to farmers, things aren't looking good. I mean, one of the biggest examples, and I feel kind of like, I don't like dunking on, I guess, like, average Americans, because I know how bad our education system is sometimes. But a good example of, like, him blatantly lying about the jobs and getting away with it is, like, just look at any of the shit he said when he toured in Michigan. Hydrate? Okay, thank you, Aki. Like, Michigan being told that the car industry is being brought back and they fell for it again award every fucking Republican election, you know? He does the same shit when he goes to the Midwest and he goes to the farmers, like you mentioned, and goes like, I'm gonna bring farming and agriculture back. Doesn't happen. Fell for it again, you know? Like, it happens every time. He goes to Pennsylvania and tells them about coal, you know? And I get it, people are desperate, but also, like, please, my fellow citizens, if they haven't done it the last 3 times, why would they suddenly do it? Yeah, thankfully there wasn't politics talk for Christmas this year, but yeah, it's unfortunate. Talking about good, clean coal, yeah. Dude, are you off-roading in your RV? Like, how did it get this bad? Oh, so the Republicans are being persecuted. Like, Jesus! Especially Trump, he doesn't care, and it's crazy that people think otherwise. Yeah. To be fair, my dad's kind of like that. My dad also is like, I'm being persecuted for being a Republican. I'm not allowed to share my opinion. And I'm like, well, for someone not allowed to share your opinion, you share your opinion a fucking lot. Because I hear it all the damn time. For someone who's being forced to keep silent, I'm hearing a lot of yapping coming from you, okay? Like, clearly it's not that much of a shunning going on. My mom somehow believes the Republicans are being killed by angry Democrats. I have no idea what AI soft feeds are. Yeah. My dad is kind of one of those, like, I feel like he believes in the, like, silent majority concept, and it just makes me always think of the meme, like, silent majority, don't you mean the can't shut the fuck up minority? Because for people who claim to be not being listened to, I'm hearing a lot. I'm hearing a lot. I don't think I should be hearing that much. If that was true, you know. Oh, can I not climb up the ladder? Okay, I can. We had Foxy's playing it, everyone opened Christmas presents. I was curious to see AI generated video of Santa getting swole. Dude, it does concern me seeing like just how many people are like, yeah, my feed is like exclusively AI generated content, and that's cool actually. I'm like, I don't know, man, that's kind of scary. I wouldn't be so chill with that, you know? Like, that's spooky to me. I didn't want to place it there. I want to place it there. Oh, there we go. Okay. God, ladders in this game always suck to clean. I hate cleaning ladders in this game. I'm just trying to get this done for my brain. Okay. My sister's wife was showing me Edge and her pictures of the cats being helped by Santa. I was like, oh wow, that's so neat. Maybe even fake on Christmas, never. I don't like it either. Cleaning like the super big things. I hate the really large buildings. Yeah, my mom has sent me AI generated stuff of her cats, and I'm like, wow, that's so cool, Mom. Wow. Like, my brain is just like, what the fuck, you know? I guess, like, I don't know. I've talked about this with Aki, that, like, I remember, like, a Thanksgiving ago or something. It was, like, 1 or 2 Thanksgivings ago. Because I was back at my, um, back when I lived in Texas at my dad's family. And, like, one of the things that I visibly remember was they were, I guess something on there was like an app on the TV that allowed you to AI generate backgrounds for your TV. And so they were like, oh, hey, whatever the AI name was, like, generate a puppy. And then it would, like, generate the puppy on the screen. And all of them were like, oh my God, that's so cool, you know? And I was just sitting there looking at the most, like, hi, I am the most clearly AI generated image of all time. So to me, I was like, this looks like shit, you know? It looks like slop. But they were so genuinely like, this is amazing. And I was just sitting there so awkwardly, like, is it though? Like, is this amazing? Because it doesn't look amazing. Like, even if you take away the, like, concept of it's stealing artwork from people and like the ethical concerns, you know? It just doesn't look good, you know? Like even if you take away like all of the ethical dilemmas with it, it just looks like shit, you know? But no, they were all so amazed by it, and I just didn't really know what to say, you know? Kind of the way Aki says he thinks of it as is like for a lot of older generations, it might be kind of like, oh, this is like the future we were promised, you know? Like a computer can just generate something from my brain, you know? That's some shit from the Jetsons, you know? Like so even if it's not like super well done to them, it's still just like, whoa, the technology we were promised, you know, which I guess that makes sense, you know? Because older generations seem way more on board with like AI art and stuff than younger ones. And I just wondered like why that was. Oh, it's really depressing the increase in real artists tracing over AI images and selling them as commissions. Yeah. I think it's fine if it's like you see something really cool and then you realize it's AI and so you're like, fuck it, I'll do it myself, and you just like draw it yourself, like not trace it, but you just draw it. Like I saw someone did that with like the picture of the apple like sticking its tongue out and they were like, oh, I was sad when I learned this was AI. Like I think that's fine. But like selling it is crazy, especially if you trace it and then sell it as like an original work that you did. That's crazy. That's pretty nutty to do. Like especially because like I don't know, I remember artists getting like proper canceled for tracing actual people's work, you know? But I guess like if it's supposedly AI, they think it's fine, you know? I don't really get how they come to that thought process. That, like that's a chill thing to do. Because at that point you're not making like anyone can trace, you know? Like I can trace. It's not that hard. Like it doesn't make you an artist if you know how to trace something. I feel like everybody should be able to do that if you have basic, like, dexterous skills. Using a reference you find is whatever. I think it's cool to dunk on the machine by doing that, but they get busted and try to deny even though they know it's fucked. I will say something that kind of gets me is like, I'm no artist, um, but so I will admit it is harder for me to distinguish AI art to normal art sometimes because I'm not an artist. I don't know a lot of I know like the basic like oh look at the hands and stuff, but you know, it's getting better at that. And especially like as someone who likes anime, it can be kind of hard to tell like is this someone just making anime art or is this AI generated? So sometimes I myself get kind of caught up, and one thing that has like really sucked for me, especially as someone who doesn't really know art very well, is like the fact that now people are doing like AI generated time lapses of art. Cause like for me, seeing a time lapse used to be like, okay, if there's a time lapse, it's legit. But now I can't even really trust that, which is kind of spooky. Oh my god, this is so annoying. Come on. There we go. I saw the AI artist community are fighting because they're claiming prompt theft. Oh my god. Even for artists before, like, yeah, time lapses are diabolical. And not just me, but the way, and not just me, but way talented real commission artists, yeah. It's, I don't know, man. I'm just like, I kind of hate that we're having to go back to like, you know, you can't trust literally anything. Like, obviously you should always be skeptical of what you see online, but at least if you saw like a time lapse or something, you could be like, okay, yeah, but you can't even trust that anymore. You know? And that's really unfortunate to me. Because, I don't know, I find it really hard to like enjoy stuff when it's constantly a thing of like, I don't know if I have to verify first what I'm looking at is real. I'm back done with dinner. How's the last week or so been? It's been alright, just recovering from being sick. Been watching a lot of anime with me boyfriend. Um, just getting over things. 17% to go. Yippee, you got this. You'll get through it. I don't like the cars because I hate the grills and stuff on them. They're really annoying to clean. A lot of common anime styles are ripped off by AR, and I'm terrified of being accused of innocent artists one day. I think you're a talented artist, and if I ever need pixel art, I know the best pixel artists around. Exactly. What anime you been watching? JoJo. Your art is really good. Like I do want to eventually get like a pixel thing from you because I think that'd be really cute. I haven't been able to get my mascot and stuff done yet because again, I was really sick. So I was kind of like disconnected from online for a bit. But I will say like it is kind of scary doing commission stuff because sometimes I also wonder. I'm like I don't know, this art's like I feel bad because it's like not their fault because their art style got stolen basically. But at the same time I'm like is it though? Like is it, like it kind of destroys trust I feel like on both sides, you know. Like look at this shit. This shit's a nightmare. Yeah, I don't know. It's a bit upsetting because I feel like it's just made everybody like I feel like it's kind of like the artist scene right now in a way feels like Wild West again of like who do I trust, you know? Who's legit, who's not, you know? Thank God, finally. Thinking now I just have to do the roof. I just realized the RV reminds me of a Planet Express from Futurama. Oh, okay, I can see that. You know, I did just said shit. My main Pixel Discord got hacked and everything was deleted, replaced with a link to some AI-generated game full of malware. Oh my god. Jesus. Yeah, I will say, for any of you guys, like, in the Discord, also, if anyone ever comes in and starts, like, trying to do, like, art commission scams, or, like, they're, you know, like, they're posting, like, weird shit like that, just let me know. I'll deal with it. Because it's just me that deals with the Discord, so. If you get, like, any DMs or notice anything like that that I might miss, just let me know. I've been seeing, like, a lot of that kind of shit happening lately, and it's, not good. Like, Shira had that happen where someone in my Discord, like, messaged him about, like, wanting art commission, like, wanting to do an art commission for him. And when he was like, nah, I'm good, they immediately hit the, like, hard sob story. And he was just like, oh, okay. And I think the stuff looked like kind of AI too, so. Yeah, gotta be careful about that. I think that happened to me, but I never respond to the hey message from randos. Yeah. Like I said, if any of you get, like, weird shit like that from our Discord, just let me know. I'll deal with the person. I don't want that lurking around in case someone who doesn't know gets one of those messages and, you know, might potentially fall for it. It's also just cringe, you know, truthfully. Like, kind of makes me think, like, I get, even if this person was a real artist, like, don't do, like, beggy sob story stuff, you know? Like, that's not gonna do you any favors with people. Yeah, I got this weird DM from someone called Ultra. Hey, I'm a graphic designer if you want to check out your work. Yeah, dude, on Twitch, I will say, like, that's why sometimes, because for me too, if I have two Discords, so I might not always be on my main one, but I will get to it eventually, uh, if, like, messages are sent. Twitter is a bit harder because, like, the reason Twitter is a bit more difficult is because lately, Twitter DMs just haven't really been working. Like, even, like, Aki will send me, like, a meme or something, and it tells me I don't have a message, and then I open our chat and I see a bunch of messages, and I'm like, what the fuck? Or it does say I have messages, and then I look, and, there's nothing there, it's just our old stuff, and I'm like, what the hell? So, especially too, like, then there's, like, the added layer of, like, as a VTuber, the amount of Twitter DMs I get from fucking bots being like, hey, I see that you're a VTuber. I love your design. I would love to get to draw something of you. Or, like, hey, I do branding packages. Would you like to get a branding package for me for your stream? Like, no, I'm good. Like, if I wanted something like branding and all this shit, I would reach out to people. Like, I don't need somebody reaching out to me trying to be like, "Oh, I'm an artist. I would like to," because I just don't think it's real, you know? Like, I just immediately assume it's a bot. But that's, it's so. Gringo. You know what? I'm not gonna let that message go through because it's funnier, but I will read it out. Gringo did the classic, like, I also have premium viewers if you're interested, and it fucking blocked his message. That's so funny. I'm gonna leave it like that because I think it's funnier if it's like I also have premium viewers if you would like to click this link below. Yeah, you get those a lot. You get those a lot. Um, yeah, I artists shouldn't do that because the big thing is I just assume it's a bot, you know? Like even when it comes to like when I'm doing commissions, I tell people like message me on Discord because Twitter is also just like again so inconsistent right now that like I'll see it eventually, you know? But yeah, it makes it kind of hard because now when I get DMs from people on Twitter, unless like I know it's one of you guys, then like okay, yeah, I can open it because I know the username and everything. But when it's like, especially if they just have like random VTuber related thing, um, I'm just like assume it's a bot and I just don't answer. Yeah, it's so funny. It got hit by not even like the thing I have to like check. It got hit by like Twitch's system where they were like, our smart beta has detected that this might be a bot message. That's so funny. Not a clapping your message like that. That's so fucking funny. The one time it actually does it and it's you doing a bit. Because every other time, I swear, it doesn't actually work, but then it works. Okay. That's so funny. Yeah, I feel like normally it doesn't, like, register that kind of stuff. That's so stupid. I always think those, like, view botter scams are so funny to me, because I'm like, who actually will do that? Because, like, it just, like, inflate your views? I mean, it doesn't like give you chatters, right? Like, I get if you're a big creator, you can get away with it a lot more because you'll at least have chatters. But like, for someone of like my size, it's like, okay, if I just am like, I'm gonna buy 200 viewers, and then chat has like three fucking people in it, like, I'm like, that's kind of obvious what you're doing. So it just makes me wonder sometimes. I'm like, who who's like doing it? It helps you get to the front page. Okay. I guess that makes sense. I don't know. I feel like if I went into a chat that had like 300 people in it and then like nobody was chatting, I would just kind of be like, okay, I kind of get the vibe, you know. I kind of suspect here. I wouldn't assume that they just have like the biggest lurker community, you know. I think sponsorships are based on consistent viewership, so someone might peak at 50. They might view bot on days they don't have 50 to keep their sponsors happy. Okay, that makes more sense. Like, I still wouldn't do it. I think it's dumb, but like, I at least can see the logic of why someone would spend money on that kind of shit. Because it does cost money to do like view bot or stuff. So, at least with that, I'm like, okay, I could understand why someone could perceive a reason to get it, but like, I don't know, man. I just, I don't know. I would feel like shitty if I don't want a too big community. I never want 100 plus views if I start streaming. Yeah, I will say that like, I don't know, for me, I would rather build up something because for one, like you mentioned, Pumpkin, it's like scammy, you know? But also, that way I can, like, actually, like, build something and, like, vibe check people and, you know, people who don't like, you know, listening to me will quickly realize and get out of there, you know, instead of like my fear is like I would hate to have like a really large community that is like not really, I guess, I don't want to say like doesn't like me because like that's a little sounds a little silly to say, but I guess just a community that is more detached and is like I always see like some VTubers talking about like um oh, I have viewers coming in who tell me to just shut the fuck up and start playing, you know, or like oh, I have viewers who tell me that like I don't like this game, so I don't want you to play it anymore. You know, that kind of shit. And I'm like that sounds awful. Like fuck, I would hate that if like you got a large community but it ends up being people like that who are just like dance for me, Jester. If you want viewers just have a dedicated foot cam for your stream, you're not wrong. And we're just playing small art streams. I don't want to have a perform for a bunch of people who don't actually like me. Yeah. Cause like, I don't know, like for example, it was actually I think it was something I saw Zanny talk about recently that like he had people in his chat who were telling him like shut up, like you're talking too long before the game starts, like play the game. Not even in like a teasy like oh man, I left to get food and I come back and you're still chatting before the game. You know, like that's fine. That's like a teasy kind of thing. No, like there were people dead ass just being like, shut up and start playing the game. And he had to come out and be like, hey, if you do that, like you're a cunt and I don't like you, just so you know that. Like, I don't think he explicitly used the word cunt, but you know, I'll use it for him. Um, like, he had to come out and be like, don't be in my community if you don't like this, you know? And it's crazy to me because it's like, I couldn't imagine saying that to a streamer, like, legit, like, full chested, just like, do what I want for my entertainment. Like, I don't know, man. That's kind of crazy. That's kind of nutty. Happened to one of the people I watched, but some guy came in and then complained that VTuber talked too much in an art stream. Bruh. I don't know. See, this is my point of view. If I, for one, I tend to be a VOD watcher more than like a stream watcher. Just because a lot of people I watch either don't stream at times that I'm able to watch live, or just because like I end up doing something like I'm eating dinner or doing something, you know, where I might not be able to be at my computer. So I tend to watch a lot of VODs. And it just makes me always think, I'm like, if you like someone but feel like they yap a little bit too much at times, just don't, if you're like, oh, I really like this game and I want them to like play it, just wait for the VOD to come out so you could skip whatever it is and like just get to the game, you know? Instead of like actively complaining about it and like ruining their mood, you know? Like, you could just do that. That's what VODs are for. Like, I put timestamps on all my VODs if you want to skip me yapping at the start, because fuck, like, I've done that, you know? I don't care, like, whatever. I would much rather people do that than complain. I like too much yapping. Yeah, see, that's the thing, is like, I end up, I feel like, especially if, like, when I go off, you know, and I just get distracted. And that's kind of what Xander does. So for me, like, I know if I'm watching a Xander stream, like, yeah, he's gonna possibly, he might be playing a 2 hour game. He's gonna yap the first hour, you know. I just accept that because I'm like, I'm watching Xander and that's what's gonna happen. And that's what happens. And it's great. And I love it because, like, that's why I watch him, you know. But I'm like, if you don't like that, then why are you watching that person? You know? That's kind of how I see it, but I guess some people get, like, entitled, I guess, and feel like I like watching streamers because it feels like I get to control, like, TV Man or something. It's really the only logistic reason I can think of for that kind of behavior. It's just like they like feeling like they're in control of, like, an entertainment source. Because their behavior can have, like, a direct result that they can get gratification from. I don't know. Usually when I watch people, I don't even chat most of the time. Most of the time, I am a lurker. Uh, I have chatted a couple times in Xander's streams and had a few, um, like, I've had a few, like, membership streams of his that I've chatted in, because, like, if I'm gonna chat in a stream, I'm most likely gonna chat in a membership, because, I don't know, usually the viewers are smaller, and it's just, like, I feel more like, okay, the viewership is smaller, my message is most likely not gonna be a void, you know, which is, like, totally fine, but, you know, there's more of a chance of something actually being read, you know? And then, like, I've chatted a couple times in, like, Shinri and, like, Ruse's D&D streams, but other than that, I usually just kind of lurk, so for me, it's kind of funny when I see people, like, crashing out about, like, X person talks too much, X person does this thing, and I'm like, I don't know, man, I don't care, I'm just here for the vibes. I'm just here for the vibes and to watch silly guy do silly stuff, you know? If I get bored, I'll just stop watching stream. I feel like it shouldn't be that difficult, but it is for some people. Because for me, that's just how I see it. I'm like, if you get bored watching the stream, just don't watch the stream. Ta-da. Revolutionary take. I get too intimidated by big chats. Yeah, I kind of do as well. Yeah, it's usually a very chiller vibe. I only do a streamer likes to yeah, but if I'm listening to a smart older man going about anarchist syndicalism, I stay silent and listen, yeah. Do you want to know something embarrassing? I feel like it's fine to talk about because it's my fuck up. Um, I briefly spoke to, um, I'm not gonna say the username, but, like, if y'all have been in here a couple times, you'll know who I'm talking about, of a VTuber who is a cool older guy that does, like, educational content. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Y'all will know who I'm talking about. um, I spoke to him a bit in, like, privately about some recommendations for stuff, and that was really cool and super helpful and, like, awesome. So I hate Twitter because Twitter has this thing where the share button is really easy to hit when you're scrolling, and so you might accidentally send people things that you don't mean to send them. And so you might end up accidentally sending, like, this super cool, older, sophisticated VTuber that gives, like, dad energy. You might accidentally end up sending him a meme after the Game Awards of Expedition 33 won for Furry Husbando of the Year. You might accidentally hit a button and send that to them. And then it makes things really awkward and you don't know what to do after that. Uh, yeah. Yeah. That was and to make it even better, you're not gonna realize you did it until like a week later. And you're gonna panic. But you know, sometimes because Twitter's buttons are stupid, you end up sending a furry meme to someone you did not mean to send a furry meme to, and now you look fucking weird. Nope, you have to send an explanation like a week and a half later. It's... Yep. Yeah. Yeah. That was very, embarrassing. Thank you, Stacy. That was very embarrassing. Of all things, it had to be fucking... It was about that stupid, like, who's the furry husband of the year meme that goes around every year. And it was after the Game Awards, so it was like Expedition 33, you know? Oh my god, it was so stupid. Oh, yeah, that's the kind of shit that happens to me. That's what happens over here in Mina Land. Ugh, I hope my coughing isn't too loud. I'm trying to mute if I know it's gonna be like a big one. Yeah, that was really embarrassing. I'm still embarrassed thinking about it. I am also just like really bad at DMing people because I get really nervous reaching out to people I don't speak to. Because I'm like, I don't know what they're cool with, you know? What if I lead with some weird shit and then they just think I'm weird, you know? Like, I want them to think I'm cool. What if I blow it? And then I think I end up thinking about it too much, and then that's what inadvertently blows it for me, is because I just think about it too much. Pixel artist I looked up and reached out to me, and I fucking melted on the spot. I was so jazzed. You are weird, but that's part of your charm. Also, you should check DMs. This man. Uh, hold on. What the fuck did you send me, Augie? Yeah, I saw that. That kind of goes into what we were talking about earlier with the, AI stuff. That Razer is doing that, like, anime girl desk assistant thing to, like, give you gaming tips or something. It's really weird. So you could have, like, a little AI anime girl on your desk that will tell you how to be better at gaming, I guess. I don't know, man. That's kind of freaky. I don't like that. I feel like... Is it gonna be mean to say this, but I feel like you have to be like a specific kind of like dweeb to have that. It might sound mean to say, but like, I don't know, man. To have like a fake AI girl on your desk to tell you how to get better at video games. Like, come on, brother. Be stronger than that. Look up a guide like someone else. I was gonna be way harsher. Someone gonna end up marrying it, not in like the cool guy who married Miku. I cannot fathom levels of loneliness that make that seem cool. Yeah, I mean, I feel like those are the same people that have like that do the like rock girlfriend thing where they make her look like Misa from Death Note. Like, I feel like it's the same kind of person. It has to be. I also feel like it just wouldn't work very well because like, how is it going? Like, how is it gonna work? Just look up a guide. Literally just look up a guide. It's not that hard. I feel like that's just like a total waste of your money, and it's just preying on the fact that like you're a lonely person. And like coming from someone who was a lonely person for a long time, like it's not worth it, brother. Save your money. Don't let them scam you. Nice. Managed to clip that. You were rewarded the same thing Shadow the Hedgehog for a Latina girlfriend. True, that's what Ringo got. King. You got your Latina. You got your girl. That's what she's what Shadow would praise you for. Can I can I be a nerd for a few minutes? Because there's something I want to know. I want to discuss because I'm a fucking nerd. I have any of you been like keeping up with the Avengers trailers for Doomsday coming out? I'm just gonna lead with that question. Like, have we been watching them? Okay. Or have we been watching them, or are we just like seeing them on Twitter and being like, oh, that's interesting, and like moving on, you know? I stopped watching after Endgame. I'm superheroed out. Okay. I feel better about that because I agree. I have only watched one of the trailers, and it was the one they just released because it had the X-Men in it, and as you gals know, I am an X-Men person before I am an Avengers person. So, I watched that, and I'm like so conflicted. Like, so conflicted on how I feel. Because, like, on one hand, it looks pretty sick. And, like, I have been manifesting Scott Summers stock rising for so long that, seeing Scott Summers again and seeing him actually look cool as fuck is, like, that does get me excited. I do like that. I did do like that. They showed Cherrick holding hands. Okay, they did that. They got me there. You know, you can't you can't be using Cherrick against me either. That's a little fucked up, you know. But I'm like can't bring myself to be like fully excited about it. And it's kind of upsetting because I feel like for one, if I was like still like 20, I feel like I would be like losing my shit, you know? But I can't bring myself to be like super hyped for it. And part of it is because like I'm truthfully only really excited for the X-Men to be in it because I love the X-Men. But I don't trust them to handle the X-Men. Because I'm still so scorned after what they've done with Pietro and what they've done with Wanda that like I'm just so like on one hand I want to be like Scott Summers is back and that's my man and I'm excited. But on the other half I'm like fuck, are they gonna make him look like a fucking jackass of a leader so that they can like suck Captain America off some more because he's Mr. Perfect, you know? Because, you know, Scott is not Mr. Perfect. and I'm like scared that they're going to make him look like not as good of a leader or something, because I just can't see them letting X-Men like have their moment. And like I'm prepared for like all of them to either die or just get like heavily sidelined the whole movie. And that sucks. As a huge Marvel fan, I'm far more excited for the Spider-Man movie than the Avengers, so I can get it. Like, I'm just so scared because, like, I wish this wasn't what gave us. Here's the big thing for me is just I'm just happy that Scott is there and looks great because I'm a Cyclops girl. Like, I've been waiting for this moment for so long. But I'm just so scared that they're doing Cyclops, like, and he actually looks sick as fuck, but it's an Avengers movie, you know? And I'm scared that because it's an Avengers movie, it's just going to be like the Avengers get everything and the X-Men are just there for like nostalgia grab and for like, oh, people have been wanting the X-Men to come in for so long. Not me though. Um, I feel like I just worry that they're just going to be used for a couple shots of like, oh man, look at them, and then they're just gonna sideline them. And you know, I've been like nervous about how they handle Scott ever since the early movies when they like really leaned into the like Logan, Jean, Scott triangle that like nobody likes whatsoever. Like, I don't know. I've just been so scared of their treatment of him over the years that like I'm just like holding my breath, and I'm nervous on what they're gonna do with him being in an actual mainline production like this. Always have the animated series. Yeah. I mean, I myself, like, I personally even wasn't happy with Wolverine coming back. Potential controversial opinion. Um, I'm saying this as someone who Wolverine is my favorite superhero. Wolverine is my favorite. I was really disappointed that they brought him back for the Deadpool movie because I just thought Logan was the perfect way to end the character, and it kind of felt like, what's the point of bringing him back? Like, we have this perfect send off, but like now it's different. I don't know. I just feel like they should have let it rest instead of bringing him back. Because I'm also like truthfully a bit nervous that like all of the X-Men but Wolverine are gonna kind of get sidelined. Because mainline Marvel, I feel like even in like, especially in like the movies, they don't even really treat Logan like he's an X-Men anymore. And so I feel like they're kind of treating Logan like he's his own thing, like Deadpool is, which is upsetting to me. And so I feel like Logan will get a lot of screen time and stuff, but I worry that they're not going to have the same for like Scott and if like Storm and everyone is in it, you know, because I don't know exactly everyone who's in it, but I don't know. I just like, I know I'm like sounding so doom posty about it, but it's just making me nervous. And like, it's like I'm at the point where I'm gonna wait for it to come out and I'm gonna wait for the reviews and I'm gonna see what people say about X-Men and their how much they were in the movie and like what they got. And if it doesn't sound good, I'm just not gonna watch it. I'm just not gonna watch it. Yeah, X-23. I like, as much as I'm excited to see my man Scott again, like, I don't know. I also am curious why they brought like, I know why they brought Cherrick back, because it's Charles and Eric, of course, but I don't know why they brought them back with Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen. Like, I don't know why they brought them back with the original actors, because, like, they're really old compared to everybody else. Hydrate, okay. Part of me wonders why they didn't bring, like, them back. I guess maybe because they're worried, because a lot of the original X-Men cast are, like, in their 40s and 50s now, that if they brought James McAvoy and Mike Fassbender back, it might, like, they might look too similar in age, I guess. I don't know, but... And here's the say, listen, I fucking love Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen as them. Those are the OGs, but I'm just curious why they brought them back specifically. Considering they spent so much time with the younger iterations, it's interesting that they kind of just abandoned that. It's also interesting to me because it's like, I have watched character recognition, I guess. It's like, man, I have watched Patrick Stewart as Charles die so many fucking times. Like, he's back again, you know? He's back. Like, at this point, I don't even, like, is he even dead anymore? Like, there he is again. I will say, not looking forward to them bringing Captain America back. And by Captain America, I mean, I guess, I'm not looking forward to them bringing, Chris Evans back as Captain America. That's really disappointing to me that they're bringing him back. I don't know, I don't like it. It feels really unfair to Anthony Mackie to do that. I don't know, it just rubs me the wrong way. Like, they made a whole big stink about him leaving the fucking franchise and, like, killing him off so that he could do that. And now it's just like, yeah, he's back. Yeah. He's back and he's Captain America again. Like, really? I don't know. It's a bit... I don't know, it feels a little, like, I guess disrespectful to me. Because they didn't even give Anthony Mackie, like, a chance. I'm also not a big fan of the, they're bringing him back to do that stupid story where he's secretly a Hydra agent, probably. They want the A-list celebrity, that's why they're recasting Robert A. Jr. the whole Nescanu. Here's the thing. You know why I hate the Robert Downey Jr. casting so much? Because, like, in my mind, the only reason they're doing it is, for one, for kids to be like, oh my god, that's Iron Man. But it's also deadass just so that they can have Spider-Man be like, Mr. Stark. Like, that's it. And he's gonna say it in that stupid ass wobbly voice and be like, Mr. Stark. Like, I know that's why they're doing it, and I hate it. Like, I don't know, man. I feel like that's the only reason they're doing it, because they could have brought back, like, so many other people. Like, I feel like they're just doing it to do the cheap, like, Spider-Man thing, which sucks because they literally just spent a whole movie being like, yeah, Spider-Man's, like, independent now and, like, actually on his own, and now they're gonna be like, guess what? Like, I don't know. I feel like they can't decide in the movies if they want Spider-Man to be separate or not from Tony. Like, it feels like every time they commit to him breaking away and doing his own thing, they, like, revert back. And I imagine it must be pretty annoying for Spider-Man fans. I imagine they want him to just do his own thing. Spider-Man Tortures Marvel's #1 game, everything else comes second. Yeah, I imagine, like, for, like, Aki, you're probably not looking for it, because, like, am I wrong for assuming that they're 100% gonna do that and do something where, like, he unmasks for some stupid reason, and then he's like, oh my god, you look like Tony, or whatever. Like, am I stupid for thinking that they're definitely gonna do that? And, like, I just feel like I would be so pissed as a Spider-Man fan. I would be so annoyed if my favorite hero just kept getting, like, tied to another. I mean, my kind of equivalent is being a Cyclops fan, and, like, you cannot escape the shambles of the horrific Jean Grey writing, you know? As much as you beg and cry for them to just fucking drop it, they just won't, you know? And you're just stuck in this horrible limbo of, like, this is the worst, actually. Bro, how much more? Oh my god, this thing is... Seriously, what are these firefighters doing? I don't care as long as they don't do the one more day story. Don't speak that into existence. Like, Steve within yourself, they're gonna at least think about it. Oof. Listen, I would just love if we got, like, a mainline movie that did Scott and Emma as a couple. That'd be pretty sick, but, you know, we're not gonna get that. Unfortunately. Even though they're way more interesting and fun, in my opinion. I'm just also a Jean Grey hater, truthfully. I'm so sick of her ass. Well, I guess I'm more so sick of her writers. I guess is the better way to phrase it. I'm more sick of the writers that she has. Listen, there are already rumors of fucking Paul might show up in the new movie. I don't know what they have planned for Avengers or Spider-Man, so I'm going in unknowing and blind. I've seen that of people saying that, like, MJ has a new boyfriend or something. And it's gonna be some dude named Paul that it seems like nobody likes from the reaction I saw online. I don't know anything about this Paul fella, but I know a lot of people don't like him. Or is it just like they don't want Spider-Man to feel like a cuck? Because as a Scott Summers fan, I understand that completely. Because goddamn, you get that a lot. Bro, what is it? Am I crazy? Oh my god, it was like a tiny sliver. It's a whole thing. I'll explain it later. Oh boy. That's so much fun for you, Augie. This stuff. Hmm. $2%. I'm a 1%, man. This sucks. Jesus. God, there's so much. Okay. Of course, a ladder is one of them that I need. The helicopter parts are the worst. Skill issue. Man, fuck. Fucky. After I showed up and talked to you about how your dispatch love interest choice was based as fuck, this is what I get in return. The fuck is the oh this? Okay, and then always the ladders. There we go. Jesus. That took so long. Ugh. Clean the mayor's mansion. Oh my. This will probably be our last one. This is probably gonna be a big job. Oh, Jesus Christ. Hold on. I'm gonna buy that. I'm just gonna buy a bunch of shit. I already have this suit. I don't need cleaning liquid. Okay. Oh fuck, did I buy stuff for the wrong gun? Bye everyone. Yeah, bye Gringo. I did. I'm gonna kill myself. Oops. I meant to buy that. There we go. I'm stupid. It's fine. There we go. Now we got this super long nozzle. I figured it out eventually. They just have so many, and they're all kind of called the same thing, except for like the number difference. So I didn't look at the number, and I bought parts for the wrong number gun. Because I like this one because I can make it look like a donut. That's why I like this one. I like this one because I can make it look cute. Oh, you got it? Hell yeah. Oh, I'm glad you finally got the percentage you needed. Oh. I will say, I've been kind of thinking about like, how I want to go about some stream stuff. So I'm going to talk about that a bit. And anything I forget, I can talk about like another time. This is kind of stuff that if I would have done a New Year's stream, I would have talked about then. One of the things I've been thinking of is kind of how I want to go about my political streams, because I do like doing them, obviously, because that's one of the main things in my life, but I've been like debating on how I want to go about it, and like one of the things I talked about was maybe doing like week recap kind of videos and things like that. I'm still looking at that idea, and I think that could be fun for like stories. I'm kind of leaning towards also the idea that we discussed of like kind of just instead of doing the streams, just doing a lot of like, we're just gonna discuss topics related to politics instead of like an explicit news stream, because I feel like I've just been kind of behind with everything going on. And unfortunately, I kind of have an issue where, you know, the stuff that I mainly focus on isn't active right now. So, like, I can do these streams, so, like, I still know enough to talk about a lot of stuff, but because it's not my area, I feel a little weird sometimes being like, I'm gonna do a news stream, but the primary news stuff that's been going on is like not my area of focus, so I'm not gonna have like as much information to provide for people. And like, you know, if people ask questions, I might not have answers, and my takes might not be as like, you know, I don't want to say some ignorant shit basically, because I just don't know all that quite. And it's a lot for me to have to research before, like, every week in general, but especially when I don't know enough about something. Like, when it comes to, like, military issues, I have to research a lot for those because that's not my area. What kind of sucks about one of my biggest areas being electoralism is just that that's not really going to be super relevant for like another year. That's what kind of sucks. Like, I definitely feel like more of like our original format of me showing articles and like going through stuff kind of streams could definitely come back when electoralism becomes the big issue, because midterms. But until that happens, I don't know, you know? I feel like it's just a little overwhelming for me right now. So I might stick to trying to like, I do want to try to figure out how to do like YouTube videos about it so that you guys can still like, if you want to hear my thoughts on something that happened like, and you're not able to ask during stream because it just might not fit the vibe, or like we just didn't get to fully talk about it enough, you could still get it from there. Because I think for me, when it comes to like times where it's not my area, what helps a video might be a better format for me, because I can write a script for it and have my sources and everything, as opposed to like if I get asked something and I don't know that, I'm gonna have to like stop in the moment and try to figure it out because I don't want to tell people wrong information. So it might be a little easier on me stress-wise to do it that way. And then, you know, for just general discussions like we had earlier, like that's totally chill to have in chat, you know? Curious to see how Zoran plays out. He seems good, but online leftists are still very cautious of him. I am still cautious because I've been scorned so many times. I feel like everybody, no matter what their political party is, should be cautious of their politicians. That's just unfortunately the reality of things. But I myself even am still cautious just because I've been lied to and scorned so many times. Like, I was a fan of fucking John Fetterman before he lost his mind, you know? So, like, I've been hurt, you know? I've been hurt. But I will say, I have more faith in Zoran than a lot of people are giving him. Because I also, here's the thing, I get being cautious, because I myself am cautious. Like, I'm not gonna, like, I've told you guys, he's, like, theoretically a perfect candidate, but nobody is ever perfect. You know, you just gotta hope that the things that he's not going to be perfect on are not horrible and are still overall beneficial for us, is basically where we're at. In my mind. I've been seeing all people say he's basically already in Israel's pocket, and I'm not informed enough to have a real opinion. I've not seen anything for a reason to jump to that conclusion. He has still been very, pro-Palestine, and, like, I've even seen, like, I believe he's gonna push back on the, like, laws that were put in that was, like, if you criticize Israel, you could get, like, in legal trouble. Like, I don't know. I think some people also greatly overestimate his power as a mayor. Like, he's not going to be able to bring a national leader in for trial for war crimes. Like, he's not going to be able to do that. He's the fucking mayor, okay? like, also, the thing is, like, yes, he is very passionate about that issue. As, you know, he should be. But his primary job as mayor is, like, securing housing for his people and stuff, you know? Part of the reason that became so, like, integral to him on the campaign is just because since he was, like, a Muslim man, they kept asking him about it, you know? Because they didn't ask anybody else about it as much as they asked him. I think some people just, like, kind of greatly overestimate his power, but then also need to understand that his priority first and foremost is going to be his local people. Like, it just is what it's going to be. Because it should be, because that's his fucking city, you know? Do I have to, like, jump the fence or something? Or do I have to clean it? Oh, I think I have to clean it from here. I think this is kind of like them forcing you to use the long nozzles. In case, like, you haven't been, I'm assuming. He's able to do what he did with groceries. Well, he hasn't done anything yet. He's been in power for, like, 10 days. He hasn't done anything yet. But it's impressive what he wants to do for groceries. That's another thing, too. He's already kind of getting blamed for stuff that wasn't in his control because he took over on the first. He's been in charge for a week. A lot of people also kind of believed that he won the election and immediately took over. No, he just barely got put in office. So I think people judging him immediately need to chill. I think some leftists will never be happy with anything, you know. My only hope is just that he stays true to the morals he presented and that, he fights for his people. Really all I can ask for, quite frankly. It's kind of funny sound. I haven't had the time to watch the Signifier video about it, but the comments were not encouraging. I also have not watched the Signifier video yet. I want to, but I will fully admit this. Sometimes it takes me a little bit to do my research because truthfully, I'm like, do I want to lose all my hopium just yet? You know? Knowing Signifier, I'm imagining his take is going to be cautious and, you know, let his actions speak. I imagine that's what Signifier's take is going to be. Because he's not like a hard Doom poster or anything, but he, like myself, has been scorned many a times, so I imagine he's going to go into it with a very cautious mindset. That's the vibe I got from what I saw. Yeah. Which I think is, like, fair, you know? But, because I do agree that making Zoran out to be, like, the greatest thing ever is not good, but also, like, I don't think he himself wants that. Like, that's a lot of pressure to put on one man. The thing that I have one criticism though that he has changed the thumbnail of the video like 5 times because it made Zoran look really negative at first. I will tell you that FD tends to change his thumbnails rather frequently. I'm gonna tell you this, he's pretty open about it. He changes the thumbnail depending on what will push the algorithm, because otherwise a lot of his content doesn't get pushed because of the nature of the stuff he discusses. Is it like clickbaity? Yes. But he's pretty open that that's why he does it. He doesn't like having to do it, but that's why he does it. He will go back and change the thumbnail of like a 3-year-old video, you know? Like, he did an old video about Nicki Minaj, and he went through and he changed the title in the video because of the recent stuff that happened. So that, to make it more, like, timely, so that people would see it again, you know? Like, it's one of those, like, for me, it's like, don't hate the player, hate the game kind of moments, but, yeah. I am interested to see his take, because he tends to be pretty nuanced. So, I'm hoping it's not gonna be full Doom poster. That's my only hope. Because I feel like some people are a little too doomer about it. And I feel like ultimately we need to have, like, some hope, you know? I saw that one. I made this 3 years ago. Yeah. Yeah, I hope he's... Because I feel like we do need to not, like, be so doomerish, but caution is important. I don't know, it's a very nuanced situation that I feel like a lot of leftists, despite their claims, are not mature enough to handle. Not saying that about you or anything, not saying that about you, just like in general, I feel like a lot of people nowadays can't handle nuanced takes, and like everything has to be like you have to have a explicit yes or no opinion. You can't possibly have nuance to something. Like I feel like that's just a common theme I've seen that I don't like. Because like you mentioned, like nuanced takes are dying and they're usually right, which is true. I know for sure. I have some controversial nuanced takes. I'm a leftist gun carrier, for goodness sake. Yeah. Yeah, I will say too, like, I'm not as harsh on some of those people as some are because I feel like a lot of it comes down to babies first leftism, you know? Like, I definitely was like extremely anti gun. Like, pretty hardcore anti gun. Like, I just didn't think any guns should be allowed when I first got into politics. Now my take is more like I think it's fine to have pistols for self-defense and have like hunting rifles for if you're a hunter or something. And I think gun um I don't think gun shows should be allowed because of the loopholes, but I think that like gun ranges where you can go play with like your big boy guns that a civilian shouldn't normally have for people who don't want to let that go, you know? Like now my take has moved more towards like that area, which originally I was like extremely anti-gun. I still don't like guns, but I've acknowledged that it's always going to be a part of America culture. So I just got to accept it. I don't think being anti-gun is even a bad thing. I ultimately want all guns to be banned too. It's just a rough journey to get there. I just don't think it's ever going to happen. And so my mindset is like, it's just never gonna happen. It's too integral to how Americans see America culture. The best method is to just come up with like the way to do harm reduction the best, you know? Like, they're never gonna go away. It's just how it is, in my opinion. What else is there? Oh. What did I miss? Okay, this railing. You did it! Yay! Guns are an unfortunate, inescapable reality for many people. If I lived in a country without guns or hatred for LGBT people, I wouldn't want one either. Yeah. No, I completely get that. It's it's also just like I never grew up around them really. So for me, I just don't understand a lot of the desire people have for them outside of like safety. But even then, I don't think I would be comfortable having one even for safety purposes. Like I just don't like them. Ah, these two things, right? Yep. And then there's a window. Which window though? Is it that one? No. You're good, you're good. You. There we go. Yay. Okay. House is now. Yay. Yeah. My dad tries to keep me away from guns. He was a criminal and he was afraid I'd turn out like him. My dad was like a hunter back in the day before he stopped, so he had a bunch and then he got rid of them because my mom didn't like him. Ugh. Ugh. What, that was actually shorter than I thought it would be. What are the other jobs? Oh, fucking carousel. I remember the carousel. The carousel is one of the worst ones. Some people just treat guns like how people buy Hummers and such like that. Oh no, what guns are 100% like a status symbol in America. Like it's like a status symbol and like a signal of like your hobby. I used to make a lot of money taking care of guns for people like that. Yeah. It's seen as well, cause like I might start the I don't think I'm gonna finish this job because I think this one takes forever, but I'm gonna at least oh my god, stop. I'm gonna at least have it going while I finish this talk, so there's something to watch. Like in general in America, there's not really like if y'all don't know I'm Dutch, got you. Okay. Some of my clients own dozens of guns, few had hundreds. Damn. Yeah. I mean, in America, I feel like there's not in America, our culture is more so tied around the things that we own than anything else. Like, you can be an American and, like, for example, have culture of the sense that, like, you are Dutch. Like, you are. If you come from, the Netherlands or something, and that's your culture, that's what you know, like, you can be an American and still have that. A lot of Americans, though, are so, like, far removed from the countries that they came from, unless, like, and the ones that aren't get shamed for it, like, if we still shame, like, immigrants who come over and practice their culture, but a lot of Americans are so, like, far removed from where their families originally came from, they don't have that anymore. And so a lot of I feel like our culture comes down to like the items that we buy and the things we consume, which is why like gun culture is so big. Cars, things like that, It's like your identity gets tied into the things that you own as opposed to like where you're from or who you are or like what traditions you do. Like I feel like it's so easy to just, that's why people are so passionate about those things because they feel like being a gun guy is a part of their entire identity. You know, being a Jeep owner is a huge part of my identity. So I have, you know, everything I do is about Jeeps. If I lose Jeeps, then what do I have? Did I hear cars? We need more public transport. Rah! We do. I'm sure they are lazy as fuck too, makes sense. I've got a few gun-loving buddies, and they complain about having to clean the gun after taking them to the gun range all the time. I always liked that part, it was 90% of my business. Yeah. I definitely see that, them being annoyed with having to clean them. But I feel like it's because of that, like, I don't ever see things like guns fully phasing out in America, because there's a lot of dudes, especially with dudes, who tend to, like, being a gun guy is who they are, you know? All their friendship circles revolve around guns and going to gun ranges and all of that. And they would feel genuinely like they lost part of themselves if they lost access to that. I love the smell of kerosene. I love cars. Cars are sick. It just sucks when, like, your entire infrastructure depends only on cars. Like, that sucks. I don't think cars are inherently bad. I just wish that in America, cars weren't the only viable transport majority of the time. Because cars are really expensive, and a lot of people here don't know how to drive. And you know, it's annoying. I think there's a lot of people who would do better off doing public transport. Ugh. But I saved my progress if I leave without finishing this fucking job. Because this job, I remember when I played through this game originally, I hated this one. Like, I love carousels, but it took so long. People say that we use bikes. Much untrue. Mm. My dad would take me to car shows as a kid, so now I'm cursed to love the sound of stupid engines revving and the smell of gas. I want to hate it, but I can't. I also like the smell of gas. Yeah, I also like the smell of gas, so I can't blame you on that. Um, yeah, I don't hate cars or anything. I just, as someone who doesn't like to drive, I wish there were more viable options for people like me in the places that I live instead of like you're kind of forced to use cars because we don't have any public transport pretty much. And if we do, it's like incredibly underfunded and like pretty dog shit. Like that's more so what like irritates me. Like I don't know, man. It sucks. Being in a very car heavy society as someone who doesn't drive is very hellish. It is very hellish. It is not easy, I will tell you that. Simple answer, minibuses. We love Hong Kong's minibus system. A bus every 30 minutes is insane. Well, the thing is that's so funny is that does exist in America. It just exists on college campuses and nowhere else. It exists on college campuses and like those like tech complexes like Google and shit. And that's it. It doesn't exist anywhere else. Like I think it's just more so like having smaller units of transportation that come quicker as opposed to like here's a huge bus that takes 3 hours to show up, you know? I think a lot of Americans yearn to go back to like living at college because college was like their first and only experience of a walkable city. Of being able to just walk somewhere or like take the shuttle bus and quickly get where they want to get, you know, and then they never get to experience that again. Because what are you gonna do? Walk along the highway? Like, I mean, you can. I've done it, but it's not fun. I think I'm gonna go ahead and get the floor here done, and then I'll probably wrap up because my wrist is starting to hurt. I have not been on my computer. I've mostly been like in bed trying to recover. So I haven't been using my computer like at all. So I think I'm just my wrist is not used to having to use a mouse. So it is getting a little sore, but go ahead and finish this up here and then we'll close out. I think powerwash is a good like yap game. I kind of just last minute decided to do it. I didn't really know what else to do. Hong Kong minibus if you want. Gotta get back into the gaming posture. Yeah, I really do. I really do. I didn't feel like I was like my brain is still a little like foggy at times, so I didn't want to like play something like Yakuza or something where I would want to like actually pay attention, and then I'm not able to do that, you know? So I figured I would just do something. I thought about doing Civ, but then like I just couldn't get a good starting area. Truthfully, all of my starts were dog shit, and it made me annoyed. So I was like, screw this. You know, this stupid, stupid game. And then yeah, I was like, I guess I'll do power wash. Thinking maybe to get the floor done, I have to do the edges. Yeah, like this. Thinking that might be what's holding it up. Yep, I was right. Okay, yay! Like 500 hours in Civ 5 and like 50 of them are probably just looking for starts in multiplayer. Dude, it's so bad. It's so hard. I have like 20 and I have 2100 hours in Civ 5, I think is what I'm at. I think I have at least 2000 hours in Civ 5. Um on my other account. So, I have a lot and I also have spent so much. It's yeah, Civ 5 is my second most played game of all time. My most is The Sims 4. I'm at, I think, 3000 hours for The Sims 4. Um, but I don't play it anymore because The Sims 4 sucks. But outside of that, Civ 5 is my second most game. And then I think after that it's Stardew Valley, which I have a couple hundred out. Technically, if we're counting in other consoles, Animal Crossing, I'm at like 850 hours, I believe. Feel bad for you Civ players can't get a good game anymore. Yeah. Yeah. Me and my boyfriend got Endless Legend from the sale, so we're gonna the second one. So we're gonna see how that is. I'll probably play it with him, and then if I like it, I might have that in rotation for like a game where I'm yapping. Until you know you're a real gamer, you have 3000 hours in a game you have very negative opinions about. I recently actually, when I was sick, re-downloaded The Sims 4 and a whole bunch of mods and everything, and then just none of it worked, and I got so angry that I like almost stress cried and I just deleted the game again. I was like, this is what I get for re-downloading this stupid fucking game that I hate. This is what I get. This is what I deserve. I spent 2 days getting mods and everything and it just didn't work. I mean, I also play League, so, but I haven't played League as much lately. Um, Mostly just because I've been feeling like icky and well, here's the thing. I've been playing League, but I've been playing against the AI system because I felt really like shitty. So I was like, I don't want to play against people and like hate my life. So I'm just gonna play a bit against the bots and get to play the game that I like, you know, which some people would think is stupid. They'd be like, why are you playing it against the AI? How is that fun? But I don't know. Sometimes I just want to play my silly little characters, okay? And I don't want to worry about some sweat in chat yelling at me. My most played game is like 700 hours on Minecraft. That's valid. I don't know how much I have in Minecraft. I've actually started playing Minecraft again recently. My boyfriend and I have like a private world that we're doing. That's nice because I just get to build random stuff while he does whatever the fuck he does, you know? It's fun. I like I like playing. I like having a Minecraft world just like with him that I can just do whatever. Ugh. Count YouTube 1700 hours on that on the Switch. Yeah. Having YouTube on the Switch saved me a lot when I used to have to go to college and like travel around because that way I could use my Switch to watch YouTube instead of having to waste my phone battery. So I would do that because I couldn't risk my phone battery going down because I needed my phone for some of my journalism classes. So my Switch did kind of come in clutch for me a couple times with that. But let me see. Um, Let me see who's on right now. Oh, Shiro and Chi are playing a game together. That's cute. We'll go say hi to the couple, see what they're up to. They're playing Coral Island, which is actually a game I've wanted to play, but I've never bought it because I was waiting for it to get a bit more what's it called? Updates out. We'll go say hi to them because I have to rest my wrist and I'm also gonna eat. I'm gonna go fuck up a Caesar salad because you gal's been obsessed with them again. I have a salad kit in my fridge waiting for me, calling for me. So I'm gonna eat that. And yeah, let me double check something real quick before I send you guys over. Yes. Tomorrow, not tomorrow we're just doing the plan was to just do D&D. Oh. Oh, thank you for the follow. Thank you, Drifter. Thank you. I'm glad you've enjoyed stream. Tomorrow, depending on if I'm free, I might do a stream earlier. If not, it'll just be D&D later in the night as usual. It's just I don't know if I'm gonna be free or not tomorrow, so I might do something tomorrow. If not, Friday, we'll definitely be back and doing a stream Friday. So that's kind of the schedule, the vibes. But I'm gonna pop you guys over to mom and dad, see what they're up to. And thank you all for coming. It was so much fun. I'm glad that stream coming back was good. It was nice to get to talk again. And again, maybe see you guys tomorrow. If not, I'll see you Friday. But thank you and say hi to mom and dad for me.